Alright, what's happening guys, Bro80s here. Today I'm going to show you how to play the Guardian Nightfarer in Elden Ring Nightreign, as well as show you some advanced tech and some really good tips for him. Guardian, in my opinion, is a very misunderstood and often overlooked character. I've gone through the Reddit threads and heard from many others in the Discord that they just don't see the vision. Well, today is about showing you that vision. Let's get into it. The Guardian acts as the tank, crowd control, and medic. He doesn't have as much damage output as the other Nightfarers, but what you lack in offensive capabilities, you make up for it defensively. You will be blocking and tanking a lot of hits from enemies and bosses. You will be using guard counters and relying on directing all attention towards yourself while your teammates focus on other enemies or that same target. The Guardian has an S scaling in Vigor and has the most hit points out of any other Nightfarer, so you'll have an easier time with general survivability. Let's go over his abilities. Firstly, we have his passive ability, which is called Steel Guard, where you plant your feet and gain a more powerful guard at the cost of mobility. When an enemy has their attention on you, you pretty much want to be always using this. You want to be keeping your eye on your stamina bar though, as it can run out and leave you vulnerable for an attack. When you're using Steel Guard, you use up way less stamina when you block attacks. Provided you have a thrusting weapon, you can safely poke your enemy from behind your shield and there's absolutely nothing they can do about it. Just be mindful that this ability does not block grabs and you can still take elemental damage. Next we have his skill, which is Whirlwind, where you beat your wings and whip up a wind-churning cyclone. This ability is fantastic for crowd control, and I usually open up with it, or use it when I'm surrounded by multiple enemies at once. During the activation of Whirlwind, you take significantly less damage and you can't really be knocked out of the animation. It knocks smaller enemies into the air and stuns medium foes briefly. This ability is not very good against large enemies and does fuck all damage, so I wouldn't recommend using it against them. Lastly, we have his ultimate, which is Wings of Salvation. You fly up into the air and come crashing down. It instantly revives all nearby teammates, and if you hold the activation buttons down, you leave up a defensive buff, which makes you and all nearby allies temporarily invulnerable to all attacks. Sheesh. This attack briefly stuns bosses and does a good amount of damage, but you'd usually want to save this for when your teammates are down, as it's saved many runs for me before.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So as I said earlier on, you're taking on the role of crowd control, tank, and medic. You want to always keep a shield on you, otherwise you're just sacrificing a large part of your archetype and you're just throwing. You want to be in the face of the boss at all times with Steel Guard active. Depending on the attacks that the boss is doing, you can poke from behind your shield or perform a guard counter. When faced with trash mobs, use your Whirlwind to thin them out or stun medium foes to give you and your teammates a quick breather. When it comes to your ultimate, you can use it early game to speed through some basic camps, as you won't really need it for reviving teammates early game. When you're fighting tough bosses though, you want to definitely save it for your teammates. Do not waste it on one bar revives, just poke your teammates up. You want to use your ult if both teammates are down or if one is down with 3 bars. Honestly, just gauge the encounter and weigh out the risks. Can you get this teammate up safely, or do you need to use your ult? Can you realistically jab both teammates, or should you use your ult? Do the math. In most instances, you want to hold down the activation buttons and keep your ult charged. Especially with the right relics on, you can safely heal yourself and your teammates. It's such a powerful ultimate, so you want to save it for clutch situations and not just spend it willy-nilly. When it comes to gear to watch out for, definitely be on the lookout for thrusting weapons and shields. Anything else is kind of inferior for your toolkit. There are a few weapons which come to mind where if you get them and you run, you'll be laughing. The weapons in question are Siluria's Tree, Mog's Spear, the Dragon Halberd, and the Commander's Standard. When it comes to shields, you either want the Jellyfish, the Erdtree Great Shield, Fingerprint, or the Crucible Horn Shield. If you're unfamiliar with any of these items, go to the sparring grounds and test them out for yourself. They're the best items I've personally come across on my runs for Guardian. When it comes to consumables, there's not many really. Green pickled turtle pickles are your friend. Stamina is very important for Guardian, so you want to be able to recharge it as quickly as possible so you can get blocking again. Green pickles will help you out with this. For talismans, it's pretty rare to get the ones you want, but anything to do with buffing your stamina, guard counters or blocking, they're the ones you want. I've brushed over the gear quickly, just mainly because I'm sure a lot of you have played Elden Ring before and know how these items work. If you don't, They're all in the sparring grounds for you to have a go at. Trust me, they're very good items for Guardian. Anybody who says Guardian is relic dependent is just talking shit. Every Nightfarer has good relics, just like Guardian does. I've beaten solo runs with and without relics for him, and I've learnt from experience what's sort of optimal for him. You can play around with loadouts, but honestly I'll just show you the one that I use, as it's never led me astray. Firstly, I'm using Guardian's Chalice, which you get from his Remembrance quest, and 2 of the relics I'm using are also from his quest, those being the Witch's Brooch and the Stone Stake. Honestly, the 3rd slot, which is a Luminous Scene relic, can be interchangeable. I'm using one which gives +3 to Vigor because it stacks with Guardian's other relics and already insane health pool. The Witch's Brooch gives a nice boost to your Vigor, it allows your ult to heal your teammates when you delay it, and you reflect some of the damage dealt to your shield while Steel Guard is active. The extra damage is nice when the enemy hits you and breaks their posture quicker. Additionally, delaying your ult and healing you and your teammates to full HP is just insanely good.
Nice.
The Stone Stake increases the duration of his Whirlwind and reduces the cooldown time. It stun locks humanoid enemies and does DOT. It's insane how good this relic is. Just a word of warning though, it's loud as fuck when you use it and you can't hear shit. I've done some testing and found that this relic increases the overall damage of your Whirlwind, provided the enemy is caught in it for the entire duration. So I think it's just worth having it on, and even using it on bosses just to prevent their stagger bar from recharging. Plus the extra damage is nice. I say advanced tech, but it's more just niche, or things that people really don't know about, or just random things I've come across in my runs with Guardian. Compared to other Nightfarers, he doesn't really have as much sauce. That being said, did you know that when you're Steel Guarding, you can instantly break a charging Falling Star Beast's posture? Come on, charge at me again. I did it again! No way! Or maybe you didn't know that his Whirlwind sweeps away projectiles and blows away status clouds such as Poison, Bleed, or Death Blight. Once again, it's such a niche tech and you wouldn't really use it. You'd rather just run out of the cloud, wouldn't you? Speaking of his Whirlwind, you can actually charge it and increase the range. Just like his ult, I don't know why you wouldn't charge it. And in regards to his ult, I said to usually delay it, but depending on the situation, you can use it without charging it, and you only need 3/4 charge to be able to use it again. Real handy if you're planning on using it more often. Another tech is Insta-Guarding. Just like Executor, your passive starts up on frame 1, so once you activate Steel Guard, you'll instantly start guarding. This is especially helpful for when you're attacking an enemy and they start to hit back. You can quickly get into Steel Guard and not worry about a damn thing. Something else they've added into Nightreign is being able to do charged guard counters. I believe this only works with halberds, but basically you're able to hold down your heavy attack after doing a guard counter, and it charges it for more posture damage. Lastly, this is to do with raising your guard boost. If you're not sure what guard boost does, the higher the number, the less stamina used when deflecting attacks. If you happen to find a staff which has Scholar's Armament on it, grab it. Even though you have poor int scaling, that doesn't matter for Scholar's Armament, you'll still get a decent buff to your guard boost. To close off the video, I want to say that Guardian is quite enjoyable for those who want to be a team player and just tank everything. It's satisfying pulling off guard counters, some fights feel like a bit of a dance, and when you pull off a clutch revive, you feel like a fucking god. Guardian is a solid team player but lacks the capabilities to be strong in solo play. Do not let that take away the fact that he's quite viable for multiplayer expeditions. Anyway guys, that's all for today. Leave a comment if you enjoyed the video or if you have any further questions, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video, and remember, charge your goddamn ultimate. Have a good one.